This is for dreamsicles. There's the milk. There's the soda. And the bottle stays in here. I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't have any rust on it from the cap. So it's maybe hopefully as dry as possible. And then Dale Biter back. Dale Biter back. Dale Biter back. Monk with Tony Shalhoub. And who is Dale Biter back? Another character played by somebody else. Not Tony Shalhoub. I need this one. This is my last zero sugar soda. So I'll drink that. Then I need one more of these. So this should go back to closed. This should be closed. Okay, so that's that. I need to drink that soda that I set aside here with something or by itself. I can just drink it out of the can. But there's that much milk and there's some milk up there. Do you want the extra calories? So, well, I had a dreamsicle today. I don't really want another one. But I'm thirsty, so whatever will take care of that. Gremlins on YouTube. Yeah. Well, I need something to drink before I go on with the video. So it smells fresh, enough to drink out of it. The last one I threw out because I kept it in the cardboard box and it didn't smell very good. So far it smells good here. It's a little frosted. Can you see that? But it's Really, just from the refrigerator, not the freezer. I spilled a little, unfortunately. Okay. I'll have to wipe that up later. Lori Hutton. If you have the signature Lauren Hutton, I don't afford you. Yeah, it says illegal driver's license with the Department of Motor Vehicles. If she had a stroke or a car accident or some other head injury. Creation's deceased on my softball. It's illegally playing in public. It's a battery on the threatening because my parents' figures are not going to jail for my house. They don't know whose house it is, so there's no real point for them to go to jail because they don't know whose house it is. So why is not Mr. Millard talking to my parents about how he's not going to fire the softball team up until my parents get out of my house, and then I don't have to go to school anymore if I don't want to. Yeah. Well, Mr. Millard's male. It was a girls' softball team. So why was he male? Doesn't he have to do something about Dad Hunt's Moser problem? That he's a male. Yeah. No, because of so many girls on the team, do they all have a problem as severe and serious as Hunt's being in my house? So Mr. Millar didn't pick the most serious problem of all the problems on the girls' softball team and just say, I'm going to take care of this one problem and I won't fire the softball team for the season of sophomore year of high school. Coach Millard, Coach Mr. Millard. Steve Aronson, you don't have citizenship if you don't get Hans out of my house. So, Steve Aronson, is he possibly from Argentina? That might be true, but if he's a shunt, So that means he doesn't have citizenship regardless of where we think he may be from. We don't know that while we're in America. So he doesn't have citizenship, but he doesn't want to admit it. He wants to say he's a U.S. citizen from Argentina originally. Like when? Does he speak Espanol? He's not a citizen that way, sorry, but he's not. Noah Ricken, do you think you can make another problem to prove that I can't handle the problems I've already made? And I should just do what? I should say I'm sorry to you about all the problems I had before I met you. How many problems did you have before you met you? I would like to dedicate this video to my overlord. May you be the Lord too one day. Thank you. My overlord is a necessary evil. He's right here on the body. And he doesn't get out. Which makes me ask my parents, what do you do when you don't like somebody? Do you take everything they have and tell them, why don't you go find what you need somewhere else? Maybe you could get a job and you'll get what you need that way. Yeah. I have an overlord that's not in its house. How is my overlord going to get me anything I need if it can't even hold me in my own house? It's an overlord and it's not in its own house. Does anybody know any other homeowners who are in their own house and don't lose their house for any reason? Do you have some kind of oversight of yourselves, like a mortgage company or a creator of your genitals that can keep you in your own house? Not without that you put my overlord out of its house. I don't need an overlord that's out of its house. The house has a number on it, an address, 7,617. And the only way I know that is because of somebody named Donna. Donna, stand outside my house in the year 1980 and look at the house number on the outside of the house or the mailbox. And then use a pen and a notebook. And write until your pen runs out, 7617, 7617, 7617, 7617. Write it over and over and over and over until you run out of ink in the notebook or you run out of paper in the notebook. And then take it to the nearest post office on foot, turn it in, and tell them you need a ride to prison. I need an overlord is not due because you're in my house, and I need an overlord outside of my house is definitely not due. Do you have your genitals on your body? Or are they in a box somewhere? In the mail? Like you put my overlord out of its house with all the other houses still alive. I'm not gonna help you with that. All the bad things you think about me, you can eat them. When I'm done with me, you're not gonna think about me ever again! A yell in the void can be heard miles afterward. A yell in the void can be heard for miles afterward. Stroganoff, username, YouTube username, or internet username, Stroganoff. You're a hoopiness in the circular photo image next to the username on the internet. What does yelling mean? Who else wants to know this? Stroganoff, I want to hook you up. Hook a brother up with somebody named Ben with the last name Ricken. He said, she's yelling at me. But I was on the phone. Yeah. I was on the phone. It was a long distance call. Somebody else was paying for it. For what it's worth, he might not be wrong about that. I was a little nervous on the phone because somebody else let me use their phone card to make a phone call. It was a phone card for making a long distance phone call, and somebody else paid for it with their money. Yeah, and they let me use it. Well, that's why I possibly did yell at him. a little. I wasn't really angry with him personally. I was just like under some supervision about the phone card. Yeah, and I had to finish up, if you know what I mean, with the call. Yeah. I'm deceased out of that. He said, Noah, she's yelling at me. He said, she is yelling at me. I am she, I guess, is what he meant. She's yelling at me. Well, I'm not really deceased out of the yelling part. I'm deceased out of she, that he called me she. She's yelling at me. I'm not she anymore. My genitals are deceased, mutilated. I have deceased, mutilated genitals, so that we can, I don't know, do you say report or reveal in the afterlife to Ben of Rickun, last name. So he needs to see a creator recording uh, of like review of the phone call the way it happened from my point of view. And then because it was a long distance call, I only saw half the call, the other half I didn't see. And so that would have to review. And then I guess the judge will just inform Ben. I think he should appear as Ben so we can all find out that he was on what level upset by the phone call. Because I would admit that I dialed the phone. For those of you who don't really know what happens when you answer a ringing phone, I would be willing to be there for that. I dialed the phone and I'll say, that was me. But I would only say that, I guess, at this point, under the conditions that it is reveals that I have mutilated genitals. So it's not really she anymore, or he. It's not he. That's castration, she, and it's not she anymore. So it's just mutilated genitals, disclosure, and it's just deceased to have genitals. I just don't hold my genitals for the lifetime and alive. I know we are going out of alive angry, but I don't have another way to testify uh, what is to be expected of myself on the humanly about that. I don't really know you, but I have to talk on the level of the food, clothing and shelter, and high-speed trafficking and long-distance calling and landing airplanes and all of the threatening of the guns and traffic and schedules and commitments and responsibilities for health and all the things that it was for me to even know this person, Ben, with the last name Rickun, or whatever he names himself. I can't say that I really know him well enough to yell at him, but I'm not going to say he's wrong. I'll just say that's what he said. And this is how I want to respond. This is how I want to acknowledge I heard what he said and then what I have to say about it. And then I also want that God will move all of his omnipotence into this person named Ben with the last name Rickun. It should be as important to God who made the phone call as it was for me to have to call somebody like that. And that he would talk to him on God's level about what God has to say about what I have to say right here in this YouTube video, which I haven't posted yet, but I will want to complete the video and post it ideally. I will post it ideally. I will try to post it ideally. I will post it ideally. I will post it. That's what's wrong with it. Well, we have to move all of heaven and earth around the size of Ben and Rickun, that boy figure. He's not a boy that way, he's a shunt, age approximately 13 years old? Can we appear him at the age of 13, or appear him at whatever age he dies? And then I would like to appear his photograph for himself, to see himself at the age of 13, which is what I would know what he looks like at age of 13, but not maybe when he dies. I don't know when he dies or died out of the world. Let's say at the end of all the time. That's possible. So how old is he now? So he's like 1994. He's 13 years old, and it's 2025. So how old is that? I can't do it in my mind, the mathematics. I don't think heaven should make excuses that it can't move everything around every little thing, right? For me to have my say my statement. I can just do it right here in the videos. But who's bringing it up right now? Because I wouldn't bring it up right now unless Ben of RICKUN, if that age 13-year-old boy person, if he appears in front of me, that's what I would say to him. Yeah, myself. But I can't because it's keyed out and it's aged forward. And it's not alive. How convenient. It's not alive. Why would I be talking to you on YouTube about something that's not alive? Why would you even care? So if I have to be here for these YouTube videos and they are hooked up to a checking account of last name MOSCR, everyone who didn't acknowledge that I don't have a home, if you do, I would like to see that it moves the afterlife because I said so. That I would like to revisit this in the afterlife when I can look as angry as you look in the money. Because I'm not sure I can answer your questions of the females talking to me about myself, and then the males. Let me start with male with a penis. Males with the penis on each of the males has their own penis. Males talking to me about myself. I don't think I look like this to answer you. And that you would believe me or understand me, or you would get what you wanted out of speaking to me about myself with yourself. What's in it for you? So I would like to not be a psychic and predict the future, or be a psychic that's holding control over something with keys. I have some keys right here that are deceased the wrong way. As you can see, it looks wrong. That's pretty much what I can say. I have keys that look wrong right here. Just leave it at that. So I would like to look ahead to afterlife when I can see something about God moving in front of whatever I look like, in the event that God would move in front of me, something about that I was alive, and then the keys were keying time and money elsewheres. And then I was locked out without what? Because I wouldn't give it to you because nobody has that much money in their wallet. All the cars are stolen. Yes, they are. I didn't ask for a stolen car in my life. No, I want my virginity back, please. You can have the stolen cars. I guess you can't have the stolen cars, but I cannot cry my head off for you to be in high speed traffic. Happiness on penis, happiness on sugar, top spin, top speed. Yeah, top spin is when the ball goes like that while it's going forward, if you will. It could go up and across the net, but if it spins, it's called top spin if it goes that way. It's underspin if it goes this way. Yeah, top spin, is that when you hit the accelerator on a car all the way to the floor? Okay, I like top spin of a tennis ball specifically, and I'm not firing off the threat that somebody's foot fault in tennis would be if they had a foot on the accelerator of a car and it goes all the way down because there's something wrong with you and you don't stay out of the driver's seat and you don't get in a car as due. If you have a top spin problem with the accelerator of a car, you're not due to have a key fit. Yeah. Did God never fight with anyone about who puts their foot all the way down to the floor of a car with the accelerator just so that we don't break the car glass windows? Because the other threats, we think we don't trust you anyway. Yeah. Maybe I'd rather die on the ground than die in a car. Well, I don't know the God who made my dad. Nope, don't know ya. Are you a top spin problem, Hans Dad Moser? I can't afford Dad's top spin in tennis. I don't think he has top spin on the car secured, that he doesn't put his foot all the way down to the floor of the car from the accelerator and rest until it's on the bottom of the floor of the car. I don't really trust him. I've been in a car with him as many times as he's told me to get in the car, and I don't trust him at all. No, you don't have that top spin problem locked up by that you had some male with a penis fight with him because he has a penis. You wanted to fit his key into a car and make the penis behind the wheel of a car drive worse than if he was full of a whole keg of beer and driving. So all the penises are driving and they're all threatening God. They have a penis and they're driving with their top spin and tennis problem. Rick Vetter, 10 and under tennis. So who wants to live with a who penis? So what do I say if a who penis talks to me? I say yes. Bill O'Reilly, Fox News, the no spin zone. Yes, I'm parking right now myself. I don't have a car when I can see Bill O'Reilly on Fox News, Cox Cable, and where else? Maybe in Oceanic Cable in Honolulu, Hawaii. Bill O'Reilly, the no spin zone. So that means the wheels on a car, they are no spin zone as they are not, I'm not driving in a car or a passenger in a car. Or parking a car. No spin zone would be like a parking space where the car is parking and it's no spin zone. Or what about tennis topspin, when the wheels on the car go as fast or as far and fast as possible? Uh-huh. So a driver's license, what is that? No, Rickon, you want me to agree with you? You don't have a driver's license, or you didn't show me one. We do agree that he did not show me a driver's license, but did he not have one? I didn't know, and I did say that. I don't know if you have a driver's license. From my point of view, I just don't know. That means I don't assume you have one because you didn't show it to me. I've never seen no Rickon's driver's license. So can I just say that? So topspin. Why does Noah Rickon not want to get in the car? Because I'm a tennis player with this topspin problem. Okay, but I'm an educated tennis player. I learned how to play tennis. Yeah. Well, that's what I heard. Alice wears topspin. So is he angry with me about the topspin? You want to molest me in the genitals to control me about this topspin problem? Well, what if I say yes? What's in it for me? I assume you molested me in the genitals because that was against myself with no gain. I didn't get anything out of it. You want my cooperation that you molest me in the genitals, and it's all for yourself. They're my genitals, but the molestation is for yourself. You molested my genitals for yourself. They're like free genitals. You don't have to have any responsibility for them. It's like if you're fathering a baby of a pregnancy and the baby gets born and you say goodbye. Well, you have to take the baby and put the baby in jail and kill it. You can't just say goodbye to a baby alive in the world and consuming that you were not responsible for putting the baby in jail and killing it if you think it's yours. If you check on its address, you find the baby when you were looking for it, and then it's your baby that way. You have to kill it. So did you rape a female, make her pregnant? You found out about the pregnancy because you were checking on the female. And then you checked on the pregnancy and found there was a baby that got born. And then you checked on the baby's address, and then you left it and said, I'm never going to give that baby $1. You dashed on something called child support. Well, you're not allowed to do that. You have to take the baby to a prison and hold it in the prison because it's a baby and it can't control anything about its whereabouts. It can't control its whereabouts. It's a baby. It's dangerous to itself. And you have to put it in a jail and a prison and lock it up there because it can't do what you did to make a baby with the sexual assault of a female. The baby did assault the female, but it didn't do what you did. It's not also you. So the baby's not also wherever it came from, if it came out of a pregnancy or a hospital abomination of pregnancies by having lots of babies in a baby room. And we don't know which baby came out of the pregnancy and which babies were in the babies' rooms of the hospitals. Why don't the babies just stay there, all of them? Why don't all the babies stay in there? How does the baby get out of the hospital? Somebody knocked on a window of a baby's room in a hospital and got access to the baby and carried it out the door locking of a hospital. Really? I can't get out of the door locking of psychiatric hospitals for the past 20 years when I want to, exactly when I want to be outside the door locking because it's locked. So who's really loitering around? The babies can't crawl themselves out of the hospital door locking. Sam Moser, Libby Moser, Max Moser, Jeremy Moser, Your babies I have seen, and you have the last name Moser, and it's unfair because I don't have it paid for by disclosing leverage. That's not enough leverage to move you. I'm disclosing leverage, and it's not enough leverage to get my money out from under you. I don't know why anyone would feed what you are. Do they have mental capacity problems? You're a baby is not excused because you can't get somebody with mental capacity problems who would carry you around and give you food and clothes and everything that costs money that is mine to myself, and they won't give it to me and they'll give it to you. And you are a baby is not excused. That you did not take somebody like that who carries you around and lock them in a prison so they can freeze the banking by being in the prison because of you. You can't be a baby. It's not excused. You have to be 10 feet tall and carry someone like someone who would carry a baby. You have to carry someone who can carry a baby into a prison and hold them in there and keep the baby separate because the baby belongs in its own baby room in a prison. And then the carrier of a baby belongs in a carrier's room in a prison. Separated from the baby, maybe separate prisons ultimately. We have to find out why and then separate them for a death and prejudice. So Noah Rickin, carjacker of a white Jeep Grand Cherokee in the year 1993-1994 school year. So you want the car. I can't just hand over the keys if you want the ownership of the car because it's stolen. Do you want control of the keys? You want that you're going to get in the car. It's not clear what you want. It's not clear what you want. What do I want? I want myself deceased, and I want you to get all the threatening, not just what you would ask me that I would agree with you based on that I can hear you and see you. And you know where I am and where I sleep. I don't want to answer that question with myself. I want God in heaven to make all the possibilities yes, and you can have all that money, but it's a debt. That's just you ruining yourself, and you didn't get to eat it. What do you mean you didn't get to eat it? Who enabled you to be anywhere near me? You who is near me? You're not near me unless you're deceased in the threatening. You get all the threatening to yourself, yes. And I'm not interested in playing out any of it in public with you. Where does Noah Rickin belong with his penis? With his intentions announced to Principal Mark Rorty, he's supposed to say. Becky said, and I want to eat everything she needs for herself for the rest of her life. And I want her to want me for the rest of my life that way, but she can't have me because I am occupied with all of her property. I just want to have it. I want it to be mine to myself. I want Mr. Rorty to be as wrong as that and go to jail and prison with Noah Rickin. What do you mean Mr. Rorty doesn't know that Noah Rickin's a sex offender? But Cheryl Odesky knows that Noah Rickin's a sex offender and called me a bad example for the children. So what about Mr. Mark Rorty? You mean the high school didn't want to answer the you're a bad example for the children problem? Because I want Mr. Mark Rorty to pay off everything that Cheryl Odesky did from year 2006 onwards. I want another house, and I want all the time and all the threatening on Mr. Mark Rorty, principal of Homestead High School, years 1990 through 1995. 1991 through 1995. I want to slam down the time as fast and as hard as you do because you don't believe in me. You don't believe a word I say ever. And I want to slam down your time on you. Oh, then put all the